Hello, 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 everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for our sickle cell mental health and wellness session today. My name is Dr. Margie Dejar Brewer, and as always, it is a pleasure to have you here with myself and the leadership team. And today is our final session for vision boarding. We're going to walk through two categories of goals, maybe do a little bucket list, and talk about techniques and how best to put one together. And then next Sunday, we'll just be sharing what your boards and your vision boards look like, whether you have a hard copy, one picture, digital, or whatever you like. That's what we want you to do. So we're going to open up with some mindfulness, a little bit of breath work. I think we're going to focus on some breath work today. And then after that, we're going to go into sharing spiritual goals, health goals, and bucket list. And one of the other members will talk about best ways to put a vision board together. So with that, I'd love for the rest of the team to just introduce themselves and say hello.
Hey there, hi there, ho there, everyone. My name is Dr. Carolyn Rowley, Executive Director and Founder at Cayenne Wellness Center.
Heather.
Sorry, I'm on mute, everyone. Good evening. My name is Heather Avant. I am a patient advocate and I work in many spaces across the board, but I am so pleased and happy to be here with you today. And I look forward to kind of getting in and digging in with you today.
Hello, everyone. I'm Dima Hendricks. I'm the founder of the Through the Pain Inc. And I am a patient advocate as well. Thank you for joining us today.
Hi everyone, I'm Emma Nossi. I'm the intern for the Sickle Cell Mental Health and Awareness Initiative, and I'm so happy to be here tonight.
Wonderful. Tonight we have all this wonderful girl power. So we're going to raise up the vibration for the women today. Snaps and claps and all that. And with that, we're going to always start like we like to lead is to find a comfortable position for you. We really want you to feel good in your own skin, whatever position that you take, something that you can really sink into. So if you want to be like me, I'm sitting on a bolster. You can use pillows, you can use blankets. Some of the leadership team, they might be sitting on chairs. If you want to lean on something, you can lean on something for your back. If you feel more comfortable laying on the floor, the rug, a bed, your choice. We make suggestions, you make decisions, and we share space and time together. So begin to ground yourself, begin to be still and quiet down, and tune into your breath, just beginning to become aware. Don't change it necessarily. Just be mindful of it. Allow yourself to feel your breath. What's its rhythm like? How many counts in are you breathing? Are you pausing? And as you become aware, start to soften your body. You want to almost slide into the deep breath and relax into it. But as you slide in, make sure you open up your heart, soften your shoulders, soften in your face, relax in your jaw. If your tongue is to the roof of your mouth, let that go. No tension in any parts of your body to the best of your ability. And then for the last thing, we're going to ask you to gently close your eyes. And if you don't feel safe closing your eyes, maybe drift your eyelids down and look towards the floor. Now begin to focus on the gentle coolness of the breath coming in through the nose. Hold it for a second and exhale through the nose. Do that again to your own rhythm. Inhale. Pause. Exhale. And pause. Take a couple more breaths. at a pace that feels comfortable for you. And tonight we're going to practice the square breath as a community. As you find your rhythm, just ground into it and fall into your breath a little deeper. And after the next 2 breaths, we're going to do a 4-count breath, and I'll walk you through it. It'll be 4 counts of an inhale, 4 counts of a hold, 4 counts of an exhale, and 4 counts of a hold. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, and hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, and hold. 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 2, 3, 4, and hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, and hold. 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 2, 3, 4, and hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, and hold. 2, 3, 4. Inhale and hold. Exhale and hold. Inhale, hold. Exhale, hold. Inhale, hold. Exhale, hold. Inhale, hold. Exhale, hold. One more round of the square breath. Inhale, hold. Exhale and hold. Release the square breath and go back to your natural rhythmic breath. Notice the shift in your body from when you started the exercise to now. The square breath is a very healing breath in that it allows for the maximal exchange of oxygen for toxin. Let's take a couple more breaths here as a community. Maybe taking a moment to send your breath to any areas in your body that may be in dis-ease. Send that healing breath to those areas. Allow that discomfort to dissipate with every breath. And as you take a couple of deeper breaths here, maybe lift up in your spine a little bit, lift up in your chest. You might have rounded a little as you were doing the practice breath. Lift to give your lungs and heart the room that they need to exchange that air. Gently begin to bring your palms to heart center, or if you feel more comfortable, place your hands on your heart, nodding for a moment, thanking yourself for showing up today. Thanking yourself for the moment of mindfulness and breath. And maybe sending a healing thought out to 1 or 2 or 3 people in our community. And with our next breath, we send loving kindness to all beings everywhere. May they be happy, may they be healthy, may they have peace, and may they be free. Gently begin to open up your eyes. Maybe let your hands drift down. Maybe if you have to wiggle, move your neck, but notice how much calmer. I feel a lot more settled, but notice where your body is now versus when you first entered the room. Take inventory and enjoy that feeling. Hopefully it's a good feeling. How does the leadership team feel? How are you ladies feeling? I'll start in reverse today. Aminosi, how are you feeling?
I think I'm getting a little sick, so the breathing was a little difficult. But other than that, I feel pretty content.
All right, happy you stuck with it. I'm happy you stuck with it. Dima, how you feeling?
At peace.
Great. Heather?
I'm sorry. Apparently, I don't know how to work the mute button today, but I feel better. I needed a moment to just kind of breathe. There's a lot going on around me, always. So taking just a moment of quiet, even in chaos, it's good. It's a good thing.
Love it. Dr. Rowley?
I like the word you use, settled. And I look forward to Sundays at 4. And so no matter what it is that I'm doing, I get a chance to stop, breathe, just for these moments. So settled.
I love it. And if there's anybody there who wants to put in the chat how they're feeling so that we know you're out there, and we would love for you to share because we love sharing. Better, settled, peace, calm, just getting a moment to pause. That's what we're here for, to just kind of, again, be comfortable in our own skin. And with that, we're going to jump right into it. So we covered so much when it comes to vision boarding, why it's good, different sections, reflecting. And I thought this time for this last session, we'll go over some options on how you can put a vision board together. I actually have mine to show as a sample. I'm thinking maybe Heather can talk to that because she is a vision board aficionado. I mean, we have a bunch of aficionados actually on the call, on the time, with us during this session. But I wanted to speak to the 2 sections of goals because we have a couple that we gave you in the handbook, spiritual and health. We've done a couple of different exercises, but I really thought those 2 sections, to do them as a team and share with who's with us today, would be very, very powerful. So if we can all take a minute or 2 to jot down maybe 2 or 3 spiritual goals that we have for ourselves for the year, short term, long term, it doesn't matter. Maybe something we've already started doing, and maybe 2 or 3 health goals. Because I think it is also really important to be concrete in kind of what you're envisioning yourself doing for the year and thinking of the steps required. Being very, the word I like to use is granular, but you can be just being very specific with the steps that'll get you to that point. And we did reference some themes already in the past session, so that's okay if we repeat, but I want us to be really specific in what the goal is. For instance, if there was a health goal, the specific goal would be, I want to make sure that I sleep more. And then maybe say 1 or 2 or 3 things on how you're planning to ensure that you actually sleep more using Forward. That's just a general example. So we'll give everybody a minute or two to give that some thought. And then we'll share. Okay, I'll start by sharing one of each category, and then we'll go around the leadership team, maybe in the same order we did the first exercise. Is that a comment in the box? Okay, no, that's just the link. Thank you for sharing the link. All right, for health goal, I have that I want to make sure that I have more sustained energy. And the way I'm going to ensure that I did that, something that fell off, is that I need a really good amount of electrolytes and vitamins and specific, not just hydration, but hydration with the right minerals. So what I made sure that I did was I rebought my liquid vitamin. I have an iron supplement vitamin. So for me, what works for me, everyone is a little different, is about 3 or 4 that I just need to do sequentially. And I put some coconut water back in, which has a lot of electrolytes within that in itself. When I wake up in the morning, because my body just has such a high level of turnover, it makes me feel so much better. Like I wake up, I get my vitamins in strategically, and I'm feeling really good. So for me, one of my health goals is to make sure those things that feed my cells and gives me energy in a natural way, I keep doing them. And the spiritual goal for me, something that's always filled my spirit in the past, but I haven't done as much, is go on retreats. Retreats for me are just a happy place. And when I go on either a yoga retreat or a retreat with friends, I really get to nurture my spirit. So I told myself I would definitely do 1 or 2 locally and maybe take a trip and go to one. All right, so those were mine, 1 for each. Aminosi, we're going to start with you. Give me a health goal and a spiritual goal, and be granular.
So for my health goal, mine is more in tune with like mental health. And I would want my health goal to be more focused on expressing like any emotions and feelings that I'm having to people that I ask. I feel like it's so easy to say like, oh, how are you feeling? Oh, I'm good. Well, sometimes like, good isn't always the answer, but that has become so like habitual. So like kind of taking myself out of that and actually being still with my emotions and then expressing that to the people who ask. And then I would say as far as my spiritual goals, I want to just spend more time reading my Bible. And in doing that, I've actually created, I know Lent started last week, so I actually created like a covenant time. So I wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning and I spend some time reading my Bible, writing notes on it. And the Bible app has like some options as well that I indulge in.
Oh, I love that. I did that one year too. I found it very, I don't know, it was very moving when I did it. Someone bought me a special Bible and I put time aside regularly to do that. I think that's amazing. That's great. I love it. Dima, share.
For me, I'm going to be honest and say I need to lower my BMI for my health goals. And I need to do that because I notice the higher my BMI is, the lower my energy levels are.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to dedicate time to actually get that low. I'm not trying to lose an egregious amount of weight, or I'm not trying to be a size 2. That's not it at all. I just want to make sure that I have enough energy to do the things that I want to do. And then for my spiritual goal is to be, I want to feel more settled in God's presence. So whatever that may be, I'm always going to church, but it's very busy at church because I'm serving. So I just want to feel more, try to find a way to be at his bosom. So those are my spiritual and my health goals for this year.
I love it. And thank you for that BMI specific. That's a very targeted way. And it really does speak to metabolism and energy. So I think you characterized it very beautifully. And I love how you say it's not about weight. It isn't. It's really about being at your optimal so that you can feel your optimal. And that is tied into your BMI. So we will support you along the journey. We are here for you. Heather?
There goes that mute button again. My apologies. And it says having some technical difficulties. So I mentioned this before a couple of weeks ago, but my spiritual goal is to continue to walk in my anointing. God has been saying that to me over and over again. And for me, what that means is essentially walking in the anointing that was given to me, not for anyone else, not trying to be like anyone else, not trying to do something that someone else is doing, but simply walk in my anointing, what was put on my heart to do. So that's my spiritual goal, is to really, I guess, be obedient and a servant in that way. And then for my health goals, is to help my anxiety. I have tremendous anxiety. I live with it. I have for a while now. And I've noticed it taking a more physical effect on my life. So I feel it, and I recognize it more for what it is. I know exactly what it is, and sometimes it hits when there's nothing going on in my life. There's no reason for it. But oftentimes I understand that my list of to-dos is long and ever growing. So managing that anxiety and managing that, because it does affect me physically as well as mentally.
Thanks for being vulnerable and sharing that with us. And we will also walk with you and help you. And yes, I know you're going to walk in your anointing. Hopefully you'll sprinkle some of that anointing our way. Dr. Riley?
Hi. So, in terms of spiritual, the beautiful thing is I know that He hears me, and that I'm blessed. But spiritually, years ago, I was given a book called "Let Prayer Change Your Life" by Becky Tarabasi years ago. And from that, I created this journal from it, the first part and second part, MYPART, and then LMNOP. Those are acronyms, but basically it means that you're spending a lot more time listening after you're reading a passage, both in Old Testament and New Testament. You're putting down the desires of your heart that are aligned with what God wants, but you're also doing intercessory prayer. I did that for years, and I would really love to go back and do that, because prayer is powerful. And I've kept all those journals, and everything has come to fruition. But I have not carved out that kind of time to be able to do that. So I would love to be able to do that. And then the other thing is, I would love to have prayer time with someone or as a group. I know that some people say they have prayer partners. I would love to be able to have that. So that's one of my goals. With respect to health, I spoke about it last week, that I am finally able to get more movement in, because I started back with my trainer. So we do dedicate Friday mornings. And every once in a while, I keep wishing, I wish everybody else knew that right now I'm working out. But I do that on Fridays. And then to walk more. And then you reminded me, Dr. Marjorie, I actually have vegan liquid vitamin C, D, and B. But yet, the only thing I do consistently is work. And I eat a plant-based diet, but I don't remember to take my vitamins. And I would like to be able to somehow figure out a way to make it more habitual.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing. I
There's
love how
messages in the chat.
Say the one. Go ahead and share what's in the chat.
I see Facebook user says health-wise, mindful, intentional about nutrition and movement, and then spiritual, intentional, daily time for meditation and prayer. Assume positive intent in my daily interactions.
Ooh, I love it. I think there's another comment. Yes,
There
please
is health.
comment in the chat box. We want to hear from you. Go ahead. I mean, I'll see.
Health, put more good food into my body on purpose, move more. And then spiritual, sow more positive seeds into good ground and give God more praise.
Oh, that's also really good. Well, the good food, we do have a nutrition month coming up. I see another comment. I'm gonna let you use that. So definitely join us for our nutrition because we are really into putting the right things in our body. And for movement, we're also gonna have a month completely dedicated to movement. So we'll be sharing really good movements that are kind and user friendly to our bodies with the different restrictions that we might have. What's the next comment?
Etta Carter says, my health goal is to exercise a little more, and my spiritual goal is to meditate more.
I love both. And so we're all here for you, Etta. You can come here and meditate and move with us as much as you want. And hopefully we as a team will inspire more and more people and as a community, and then it'll just become a nice ripple effect. Everyone will just adopt all those fabulous things and share in their spiritual journeys and their health journeys that we do together. And with that, Heather, can you walk us through some options on how you can put a vision board together?
Okay, if I get my mute off. It's not working today. I turned off everything else. I had a bunch of programs up and it's still not working. Okay, so how do you put a vision board together? This is the fun part, right? Getting a little creative. A lot of people say, oh, I'm not creative at all. This is hard for me. I don't know what to do. But a vision board, it can be anything you want it to be. What inspires you? So first, you're going to write down ideas and things and thoughts that inspire you. Those are the things that you want to think about. What makes you happy? What brings you joy? What do you want to look at? If you create a vision board and it is ugly to look at, you're not going to look at it. We all know this because you're going to be like, ooh, I'm going to put that in the back of the closet because that is ugly. So you need to make it beautiful. What inspires you? What types of things? Do seashells inspire you, or the smell of the beach? Suntan lotion. For me, I love the smell of suntan lotion. I have no idea why, because I don't tan, but it reminds me of summer. It reminds me of being, out in the middle of the sun with the sun hitting your skin and that warm feeling of, no pain days. You don't get the fluctuation in weather. It's good stretches. So first, you want to think about what inspires you. Those are going to be our building blocks, right? Those are our foundation blocks. And from there, we can grow. We want to talk about your goals. We just discussed some of our goals, right? Those are important. You want to put those on your vision board because you want those. You want to be able to visualize exactly what you're going to do the next year. Where is your head at for this next year? Having your goals in front of you and looking at them every day, they are more likely to happen. We all know this, right? I think that this is not a secret. I'm not whispering any new news to you. But it's helpful to look at what you want every single day. And then, so those are your cornerstones. So you have your building blocks, you got your cornerstones are your goals. And then you want to fill in all things that bring you joy. I have to put on my joy things. What is that one handbag that you've been looking at for like the last, 2 years? What is your goal? Do you want to move into a new home? My husband and I had to sit down and create a vision board for a new house. I was like, no. I want a new house. And this is how we're going to do it. We're going to put it out there. We're going to look at this every day so we can be like, this is where we're moving. The house doesn't probably even exist, but we're going to trust in God. We're going to trust in prayer. And we're going to trust in the fact that if we see it and put ourselves into that space, that it will happen because it will, right? That's how God works. If you ask for it, you will receive it. Okay. Now, in his timing, not in yours, even though, I have been known to put a clock on God in the past. It wasn't always the best thing to do. I don't suggest it. But you know what? You can try if you want. And then set your timeline. Is this going to be for a month? Are you going to have this vision board for the next year? Is it going to be 6 months? What is your goal? Where are you finishing? What is your finish line? And then giving yourself grace, right? Allowing yourself room, because we're human and we're full of these little moments where we're just going to let ourselves down, but that's okay because that's human. And you just have to realize that today's a new day or tomorrow's a new day. We're going to start again. If you woke up in the morning, you can wiggle your toes. You're doing pretty good. So starting from there. So I think first we talk about the smaller things, and you want to build on that, right? And I know that we all have vision boards. I'm sure all the ladies here do. And then you want to create and collect beautiful things. You can go on Pinterest and do a Pinterest board if you want to do a digital board. You can pull images from magazines. You can pull, I even use things like tea bags. I'm sure you guys have seen, I don't know if the camera's gonna pick it up, but you've seen the tea bags that have the little sayings or quotes on the corners of them, the little inspirational moments. I'm like, oh, that's so sweet. And sometimes I'm like, okay, Jesus, I needed to hear that today. I get messages from a lot of different places, and you pick up these little odds and ends. And for me, pictures. My son took a photo of me. I thought it was really cute. I was working away, and he's like, he said something to me that was very profound. He said, "Mommy, you're always working." And he took a photo of me, and I felt so sad. And you could tell on my face that my face is almost like a little surprised and a little saddened by that, because to him, he sees that. So it made me think, like, I need to make sure that I'm spending quality time with him and that I'm giving him what he needs. Today he asked me, "Mommy, can you play with me with magnetic blacks?" I was like, yeah, we're going to play some magnetic blacks. But he's a part of my vision board, right? Because he's a part of my life, my family, spending time with my husband, and even my extended family. I try to call all of them. I got a lot of people, y'all, and I be trying real hard to call them. And, I am not the best, but I work at it. Sometimes it's every 2 years because it's so many people. But those moments, you want to make sure that you're trying your best to capture. And if that means putting it on your vision board, then put it on. You can write on a Post-it note. I have a bunch of little note cards that hang out. I have a vision board on my wall here that I love, but I have a bunch of little Post-it notes, and goodness, can I take this? I don't know, take this filter off on this app, but it says tenacious, and it's my word for myself. It's what I call myself. I write words. I write quotes. When someone says something to me and I'm like, ooh, that's good, I write it down on a little card and put it up on my board, because those things bring light. So my board starts off pretty basic. Let's see if I can get my background down so I can show you what I'm talking about. See, look, my mouse isn't wanting to work. Remove. No, maybe not. Well, I'll have to make sure that I take it down next time to show you all, because apparently it's not going to let me. So I don't know how to do it in this. Unfortunately, I know how to work Zoom, but this is a little new for me. However, I could show you, my board starts out very, very uncluttered, very empty. Dr. Dejoie has one. I'm sure she could show you. It's very uncluttered. So it starts off very broad base. And as the year goes on, I fill in the blanks where I need to fill in. I don't have to do it all today. You don't have to do it all next week or this week. You start with a foundation. My foundation for me is what I have said it before, was walking in your anointing. So for me, start with a phrase. And from that phrase, it will grow, and it will become, by the end of the year, a work of art that I am really proud of, because I curated it. Anyone want to add in here? Any of my team? Dima? I see you over there smiling.
So I'm different. So I'm strategic. I do a visual board every year, and so I can keep it on my phone. So I'm like on my lock screen. I don't know if you can. I can't get off the notifications. But yeah, it starts on my lock screen. I don't know if you can see that.
Oh, cute. I love that. I have a virtual one too. I love the virtual one. I have a lot of them, but that's awesome.
But I have a 5-year vision board as well. So I can actually look at it. I'm looking at it across the room right now. If you keep seeing me turn my head, it's because I'm looking at it. And I just check things off as it happens. And just like you, Heather, I have Post-it notes. There was a year where my mirror, I don't know if you guys know the show Being Mary Jane. It was on BET. It's no longer on air. It was canceled. It was canceled a while ago. But she had Post-it notes everywhere in her apartment, and so my apartment looked like Being Mary Jane's apartment for a while, and I kind of had to slow that down because I have kids and a husband that I didn't want to annoy. But yeah, I love the aesthetic of just words of affirmation everywhere. And yeah, and the thing with my vision board, it's I'm so anal, it's like color coded and it and it
I think that's great.
but yeah, it's I can, when you guys talk, I can go get it and show you guys.
Well, I can show you. Sharonda helped me turn off the blur filter, so you can see this.
Oh, where'd she go? I liked it.
Oh, we lost her. It's Dr. Riley. Hi, Dr. Riley. I know she did leave us. You know what? I'll show mine until she comes back because she actually dropped off. So she was saying that mine started as one picture. So I put quotes. I have a family member. It started with a backdrop picture of New York because that is home for me. And where I needed, for instance, strength. Serena Williams for me is strength. So that was my image. The new baby in the family brings me joy. So she reminds me and grounds me in family. Make sure my heart stays open. So as I collected, and there she is. She's back. So go ahead, Heather, take it back away.
I'm sorry, I got kicked out. I don't even know what happened, but I was talking about just making it, like, for me, like, my favorite color is pink. I don't know if you know that about me, but my whole office is pink. I work with babies, so I used to say that was why, but that's not the truth. I actually love the color pink. I have since I was 7. So it's just my favorite color. So I created an aesthetic for my office because this is where it lives. And it's so funny when I have people who come in to shoot and do their photos, and they spend hours standing at my wall, staring at all of the things, because this starts it off. It's very small, and it's just things here that just talk about me. Like, I want to be financially free. For me, I know a lot of us deal with medical bills, and Dr. Dej has heard me go on and on about how frustrating that is for us and how annoying it is to rack up $38,000 in medical bills in a year and to figure out, like, wait, am I spending my entire salary on medical bills? And so these are things that I know can happen, right? That I can become financially free. There is a way for all of this to happen. So big goals, put them on there. Small goals, put them on there. I also want a really cute shirt that I saw on the internet. That's on here. So it's out of my budget because I just took a vacation, and yeah, that happened. So we're recouping some time and some money. We had a lot of fun, but I want Marjorie to finish. What were you talking about?
I was just actually showing the sample of my vision board while you were gone. And I think the point I wanted to make that is magical about a board is when you find images that ground you, they're meaning for you. I really liked what Heather said about it was her anointing, not everyone else's. So that someone may walk by my vision board and get a completely different interpretation. But when I walk by the images and I see the pictures that I've chosen, they have a personal meaning to me. So they inspire me in that way. And I've also built mine over time. I usually start with a picture in the back that either warms my heart or makes me smile. And then I add the images depending on long-term, short-term, big goals, things that I want, everything that Dima and Heather referenced. So I have more than one. And then when my husband and I share quotes or we like things together, we put them somewhere strategic so that we both can share in them. And it really does keep me motivated. It makes me smile when I need a smile in the morning, and it warms my heart, and it shifts me back in the right direction because we're always going back and forth, right? We're a balance between positive and negative. But I really do believe when you have visuals around us that put us back into the positive realm, it's always beneficial and healing. So we really wanted to share the different ways you can do it. I remember Eminosi had once said, this year she's going to do one picture. And it doesn't have to be, extravagant. It just has to be something that speaks to you. And I think taking the time to do it also helps you think through the process, number one, and
Mm.
reaffirm that it's within your wheelhouse. You are able to take that next step. Anybody else want to throw some words in or make a comment? And I did see something in the chat box, I thought.
I want to take the position of some of the people that Heather had alluded to in terms of that it may seem difficult.
Mhm.
And I think so some people don't have magazines and, trying to get rid of magazines and they may not have them. Um, and then also, I'm just going to say for myself, it's so interesting. I know what I like. And when I stumble upon something, it's wonderful. But when I have to do something, it seems like a chore to find something that's aesthetically pleasing for me. So I think for those who may be new getting into it, it would be great, as the others have said, to start collecting because you know what you like, whether it's a color or an image or a quote. And I think it starts with collecting because sometimes when you are given a directive, almost like a school assignment, for instance, then it's almost like it's still fun in creating. Trust me, I love the creative process, but there are times when it you may not see it in your search because it depends on what you're searching for on the internet. And there's different things you can type in just the Google of whatever it is that you like, a beach, or you can go to some of these other things that people talked about, Pinterest or what have you. So I think for those that have not gotten into it, or they may feel that it's more laborious than not, I would say for someone who has very little, I don't want to say that, for someone who spends most of my working time working, it might seem laborious, but I also think that it's a good idea for your to give your analytic brain some time off and to really spend some time on the creative things that make you feel good, even if it's a color or a sound or a picture. So I'm speaking to those that may have attempted or who never tried, that sometimes it can just come and you don't have to be done with it by a certain time. It's ever evolving.
Mm.
So I wanted to be able to share that perspective.
Oh, thank you, Dr. Ellie. I think that that's very valid, right? And I want to say that I have more than, and Dima, I'm sure, and Marjorie, we all said we have more than one vision board because the thing is it is an art of collecting. It's collecting memories. My husband and I have a vision board in our bedroom from when we first got married, and we have added to it since we got married. And we were laughing because we just added to our 10-year anniversary, like our plane ticket to Mexico. And I was like, we're so cheesy. But it's the thing is it's about collecting, right? That's a plane ticket. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to have everything. Like I said, the tea, like my favorite teas, you don't have to have it all in front of you right then and there. In the beginning, when I first started doing vision boarding years ago, I would just simply write down 6 goals that I had for the year. I would write them down on pretty paper. I would go to Michael's and buy, those sheets of, they have like a sheet of paper, and I would get my best penmanship out and I would write them down really pretty and neat, and I'd put them on my wall, and that was it. But every day, looking at those goals, looking at what I wanted for myself that year, 6 goals. I always had 5 that were pretty reachable, attainable. One that was like, okay, you're going to have to really do some praying, buckle down the hatches on this one. And I started noticing that they started coming true. And I was like, okay, I got to get this, got to be bigger. My asks are way too small because I realized like I was receiving an abundance because I was just putting it in front of myself. Um, it was my way of asking God for it. And that's kind of how I look at it for me. It's just my way of asking. I'm a visual person. As everyone knows, I'm an artist. I'm sensitive about my work. But I also understand I am an analytical person. I did work in, marketing logistics for years, and I understand spreadsheets. I mean, Marjorie knows I'm the queen of sending out a spreadsheet and an email with some bullet points. Like, it gives me so much joy. But I also understand that you have to take a step back sometimes and allow yourself to collect a leaf when you're walking on a beautiful sunny day, or to smell that flower and maybe put it in a book to remind yourself of weeks gone by, that those moments really do matter. And it can be about collecting, Dr. Rowley. That is definitely a very, very good way to start.
Can I just
add 2 comments?
Oh,
Dr. Bailey said collecting, that's very helpful. And we have Barbara Houston. Hello, I've always loved the concept of vision boards. However, it's difficult for me to create one. My goals are ever changing as well as my wants. Hey, I haven't done one because I don't want to be locked into one vision for myself. And that's why it can grow.
Yes.
I think everyone's goals are ever changing. A lot of, I'm not going to say that, never mind. But yes, our goals are constantly ever changing. I think that that's okay. My husband tells me I change 10 times a year. I'm a completely different person in March than I was in February. So I have 2 days left of this Heather, and then this Heather disappear. There'll be a completely different Heather. I think that that's okay to be ever changing. I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. Your goals grow, you change. I remember a friend telling me I should write a book, and I had the hardest time trying to figure out how to start it because as I was writing it over a course of 2 years, it kept changing, and I was like, never mind. My stuff changes too much. I'm too many different. And then I read back what we wrote, and I was like, I can't put this out. This isn't me. She was like, this was you then. So it's okay to change.
And I think a better word, Heather, might be that it evolves, right? I think,
yes,
and so that your board and your vision can grow. And just like we change day to day, we're not the person we were yesterday. It can also be reflective of that. What I think is interesting is as we think it changes, to the young lady's comment, she doesn't want to be stuck in that. There's usually a connection as it evolves from one point to the other. So as you collect things along the way, small things, you can just put them somewhere that just reminds you, even the sentiment of kind of the path that you want to go on. I would say that's one thing to add. And the other thing is, what some people have said already, it can be as simple as you need it to be. I have a friend, we were doing vision boarding together. She drew her images because she knew in her mind what she wanted, and she wanted to put color to paper, which I thought was absolutely fantastic. Again, each image had an image, the meaning specific for her. And that's how she created her vision board that she puts in her book, and she sees it every day, or what have you. So it can evolve and it can grow. Dima, did you want to add or say something?
No, I just wanted to add to Dr. Raleigh's point of having the magazines. I always said, I even put this in my book, and I don't want old magazine to throw up on my board. or any fitness magazine to throw up on my board, and to incorporate incorporate you. Find pictures, old pictures of yourself, and where you want to be, and put yourself in atmospheres where you want to be.
Right.
So I just wanted to highlight on that point. I thought it was a great point.
I love that. A lot of times I actually will go and print out pictures that I've taken over the year that really were special to me from different places that I've been. I might see something while I'm outside and I'm like, oh, I love that. Or like what Heather said, I've actually picked up a leaf before and put that in my book. I've had a flower that I've pressed before, and that was part. I've had a ribbon from something, a gift that someone sent me, and the ribbon was part of the vision board. And each thing had a specific meaning. I mean, Walgreens knows me. I'm like, I get the plug, I plug it in, I print out my 10 pictures from my phone, and I'm like, thank you, because I'm a hands-on. I like to have the digital, but I also like to print them out and have something.
I even
touch.
print
I
out
wanted to
photos of
just
my
share.
friends when they make funny faces in meetings that make me laugh. Like, you know, I'm sure I've been in meetings with all of y'all at some point, and y'all have done something. I will screenshot that and print it out, and I will put it on my wall and laugh because it brings me so much joy, because in that moment I knew exactly what you were thinking without you saying it, because you already said it with your face. And I screenshotted it, and now it lives forever immortalized on my wall, because I just went and took it to my back little Xerox printer and printed it, and it just brings me yes, I have a few of them from y'all, so it brings me so much joy. It really does. Like when y'all do this, and I love it.
Well, I wanted to add,
Oops.
you said something. So I mentioned earlier, about being able to have a prayer time with others. And I think too, and Dr. Marjorie, you mentioned that you have a friend that you guys have been doing vision boarding for some time. And I think that sometimes I think that would be helpful as well, and it could be hard for people who feel a little bit more isolated, but I do feel that too might be a great way to kind of segue and put your little toes in the water in terms of trying it, in terms of doing it with a friend. You all get to know each other. A person can be on the lookout, not purposefully, but just now being more mindful. I think Dima would actually like something like this, so I think I'll share. And whether she uses it or not is okay, but I think the art of also not becoming so much in your own space in the bubble that COVID has done, it would be great to extend oneself to become part of a community, even if it's of two. So I wanted to share that as well.
We have some comments. We have, I'm not sure how to say her name, and I don't want to murder it, but we're going to give it a go. Is it Deonar? Does anyone know how to say her name?
No.
Ever-changing is evolution and elevation. I love that. I actually just wrote that down on one of my little handy-dandy note cards. And then I need a more simplistic way to create my vision board. The supplies that I sent the staff for our vision board party was too complicated. I think I like the idea of just collecting items and putting them on a board where I can see them. Or have you guys, even those collectors, have you thought about those frames, those shadow boxes?
Yep.
That lay flat, so you can throw things and little trinkets in there. I remember having a crayon box when I was a kid full of all of special moments and special trinkets that I came across, as a little human. And then Dr. Bailey asks, is there a digital app that you all use or recommend? So I don't have a digital app, but go ahead, ladies.
There is one within the handbook that we've given. So guys, everything we're talking about, that's the great part. It's in the handbook that we made just for the community. So in the handbook, on the last page are 3 links, and in those links are options on how to build a digital board, and it walks you through it so that you can, there it is. Thank you, Sharanga. Yeah, there go. She's always ready. On that last page, we'll have the 3 links. As she scrolls through, those are the samples, and that's the information. So yeah, you can walk through that, find the apps, and it'll take you through how you can put a digital board together. The other way, the easy way that we've been sharing is you get your own pictures, get Canva, put them all together as your screensaver, and there's your vision board. It can be very, very simple, or it could be as extravagant and detailed as you want it to be. Thank you.
Ms. Gilbert is asking, and I think if someone can put it in the chat, how to get the digital vision board, the handbook that you just referenced, if you can put that in the chat.
It's a digital handbook. The link should be listed.
It is listed, yes. So
okay.
Thank you for reading the question, but it's in the chat. So if you scroll through your chat box, we did put the link We can maybe put it one more time, Sharon, if you have a moment, so that if they didn't see it at the top, then it's in there again. All
Okay,
right.
thank you.
Thank you. And with that, you guys, I love a good convo. I love talking about vision boarding. Unless we have any last comments, we are coming to the end of our time together. So we hope that you take the time. Is that another comment, a new one, or?
That's the one from before.
Okay, thank you. Spend some time, and if you do get a chance to put something together, take a picture of it or have it ready maybe to share at our next session. We'd love to put a community board together. No pressure, just a suggestion. And maybe what we'll do along the way as a community is collect images that speak to us as a group. And by the end of the year or in 6 months, we'll put a new vision board together. There's never a timing. It's kind of fluid. You do it whenever your heart desires. You can do it whenever, because it always works, I think. And with that, let's ground ourselves again one more time. Soften one more time. Let's bring our attention to our breath. One of the many things that unites us. Let's take an inhale together, filling up our lungs and our chest and our heart. Slowly exhale through the mouth. Inhale through the nose. And exhale through the mouth, sigh it out. Let's do one more, everyone. Inhale through the nose, in. And sigh it out through the mouth, out. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us for another mental health and wellness session. And until next time, be well.
Bye, everyone.